This is from the Peacock streaming service. Charles Robinson on how the Browns are measuring Deshaun Watson's progress.
Here's how they're looking at it, okay? And it was interesting. I had a chance to talk to somebody in the organization leading into the Bengals game. And I thought, okay, my preface with the conversation was like, hey, you guys got past Houston, getting Deshaun back. It's got to feel good, like you got over the hump. They actually were looking at Cincinnati and saying, Cincinnati's more kind of the one we want to get out of the way. And I was like, why? They said, well, first off, the Houston game was weird. There weren't a lot of fans there. Maybe what we thought in terms of what was directed at Deshaun, it was more going to be something that would happen in the Cincinnati game than the Houston game. He didn't feel that much heat, and it wasn't as big of a mental hurdle as really what he was going to face in Cincinnati. So they looked at Cincinnati as a really formidable game in front of them, both on the field and off the field with Watson. So I think now that they're past that, they're kind of ready to move forward. But the big thing that they were focusing on going into Cincinnati, they're like, look, what happened in Houston, we expected it. Deshaun's been off 700 plus days. He was going to be rusty. I'd seen him in practice in camp. He looked rusty. He looked a lot like what he looked like in Houston. But this person I spoke to said, what's he going to look like now from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4? If we see him take a step from Houston and get better and play better, play closer to the guy that we know he can be in Cincinnati, we're going to be okay.
And Jeff, that makes sense. You need to see 2 to 3 has to be better, 3 to 4 has to, and so on. Each week you got to see him get a little bit closer to what you expect him to be.
I think for me, the most impressive throw from Sunday, he moves out of the pocket a little bit to the left. There was basically a tackler on his leg and fires a 22-yard bullet to Donovan Peoples-Jones. Normally if you had not been, playing competitive football, and you certainly haven't been dealing with pass rush, you feel anything, your common thought, your first thought is probably just to go down. He stayed up, battled, fired a dart, certainly, a tough throw with somebody around his legs. But this is what you're looking for. And you got to keep in mind, there's parts of this Browns offense that we still haven't seen yet, and more that you can do with Deshaun as far as RPOs, as far as his ability to run the ball. So anything you can do to get, the defense thinking about or having to put their attention to something else will ease things up for Deshaun. Biggest key here is that, we're going to need some of the young receivers here to kind of get on the level of play. You can find ways to take guys out of the game in the NFL. But when that happens, other guys have to step up. It's your David Bells, it's your Michael Woodses. We'll see maybe if we get a look at Jalen Darden here over the last few games. There's some weapons here, that we need to kind of make some decisions about for the Browns. And, that along with their play with Watson, it's, somebody can find a way here, whether it's a Woods, whether it's a Bell, these guys can show up, make some plays. It's, probably going to, relieve some nerves in that building. And you're going to start to believe that, this Deshaun thing is going to go exactly where they want it to go.